Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to episode 5 of the Tarp Report with Sam and Jess.
Woohoo.
It is me, Sam Miller.
And I am Jess.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't think that you've ever introduced us that way.
I was like, it's time to step it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do it worse.
No, just be like really professional.
You felt like that was, I felt like you normally introduce both of us.
Oh, yeah, but I was like, it's me, Sam Miller, and then I looked at you, and I was like, because we have, like, chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
I think, yeah.
Like acid. It's a very complicated molecule.
Welcome to episode 5.
Episode 5, sponsored by acid. No, it's not. We do have sponsors, Old School Pizzeria, Deschutes River Cyclery, and Bar Francis, and all wonderful businesses in downtown Olympia that you should support. Bar Francis, Old School Pizzeria, Deschutes River Cyclery. You see how fast I did it?
You can say it so fast.
One.
Deschutes River Cyclery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't have to drive 8.5 hours today. Okay. So I am having a good day. No matter what.
You look like you drove 8.5 hours yesterday.
I feel like I look like I walked 8.5 hours yesterday. It was a
so where were
long
you?
pull. We wound up out in Boise.
Okay.
Boise, Idaho, as opposed to some other
different Boise.
Yeah. So I did a run where I started in Portland where there was an ice storm. Had a really weird set in Portland. Oh. And not that I ever have like a lot of regular sets, but that one seemed especially odd, even for me.
Okay. Hold on, you're looking for something. What are you looking for?
I have a tissue.
Oh, are you having a little runny nose?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, there we
go. Thanks, Trey.
That's funny. Trey's always on the spot.
We got him a tissue. Everything is fine.
Yeah. It looks like this has some stuff on it, but that's okay.
I'll use tissue.
No, I'm going to use the other side. No, it's not boogies. It's food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's no biggie.
All right. Princess can't use a dirty napkin.
Yeah, Trey handed me a tissue with like some peppers on it.
Oh, no.
Not cool.
So what happened? You just had a strange set, like it was just
yeah. It was a crowd.
It felt off, or
there was a crowd that didn't appear like they wanted to be at a comedy show, which makes me question why. Half of them had there was like I think there was like 25 or 30 pre-sold tickets.
Okay, that's
but only 3 or 4 of them actually showed up because of the ice storm.
Oh, okay.
And so you had a bunch of walk-ins, a bunch of neighbor folks, and there was a decent crowd. But the 2 comics before me, I thought they were pretty strong, and they just weren't getting the reactions that I felt like they deserved. And so when I went up on stage, I was like, all right, there's a new sheriff in town. And I'm going to edit a video later. I did some very strange crowd work.
Okay.
Where I compared these people to salmon and said that they were dating. And then I asked them, I was like, how long you guys been together? Which is like some hacks shit that comedians say all the time. But I was like, how long you guys been together? And she was like, 4 years. And then she was like, it's complicated. I'm like, what's complicated about a specific measure of time? Right. like, what do you mean?
4 is 4.
And they're like, well, we broke up and then we got back together. And I was like, well, streams diverge. Streams come back together. And then I was like, and then you hit a dam. That's why it's important you go up the fish ladder. It's
a good thing you have all of this knowledge.
Yeah. I know a lot about fish and streams and dams and stuff. And yeah, it just got weird. And then I went out to Redmond and La Pine, and I'm not going to go into a lot of details about these shows. Ooh. They were good. They were good. It was for the Central Oregon comedy scene for Danny Hoffman out there. Danny Hoffman is a wild card.
We call him the wild card.
He's a wild boy.
You never know what you're gonna get with that guy. Well, a literal bull rider.
A bull rider. Yeah. And see, I used to bull ride all the time, but it wasn't like professional. We just find a cow and jump on it.
Right. They weren't actual.
It was mostly for transportation. We'd point the cow in a certain direction and we'd jump on. and see. It was like hitchhiking, kind of. Yeah, that's what we used to do.
Gave it a whack.
In Spanaway. It was the first show was packed, had a good time, had 2 openers. Not going to mention their names. Can't remember their names. Well, I can remember one of their names because one of them wasn't at the next show because he got arrested.
Oh.
So,
well, the classic tale.
yeah. So I remember, like, I showed up at the venue and they were like, "Hey, we're going to switch it up a little bit because homie isn't here."
He got arrested. What did?
Yeah. He had a warrant for an old DUI or something he got picked up on.
Well, that'll do it.
And I guess he was borrowing the door person's car. And then now she doesn't have a car because the car got like impounded or something, because I don't know. I wonder if he borrowed her car because his had like a blow and go in it or something like that. I don't know.
That sounds like the company Danny keeps.
Much love to Danny. And then I went on Danny's podcast. Oh, wait, let me talk about the good part though.
Okay.
Brittany was with me the whole time.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was awesome. Like, I love being on the road with Brittany, and we're getting better at it.
Okay.
She doesn't come to any of the shows. I ask every once in a while, I'm like, "Do you want to go?" And she goes, "Do you want me to go?" And that means she doesn't want to go.
Yeah, I'll do it if you want me to, but not because I want to.
Yeah, and I'm at a place with my comedy where, like, I don't care.
Right.
Like, I don't care. Like, I don't go, like, comedy is this beautiful, amazing thing. I love it so much, but it's like, it's my wife. She doesn't want to go. She sees enough of me.
Right. You don't need her there to sit. Yeah.
But it was funny because we're on the road. There was a point where we're like driving, and the drive from Portland to Redmond, there was like one part that was like pretty sketchy, you know, like I almost thought about chaining up. Like, it was gnarly.
Yeah.
And, I was like, "I'm so glad you're with me." And she's nervous. Like, she gets really nervous with the bad weather. And she was like, "Oh yeah, this is great." And I'm like, "Isn't it fun being on the road with me?" It's like, there's the shows that you don't go to, and then there's this.
Right. There's
like the terrible,
dangerous side of
dangerous driving. So
I've been in a car with you. I mean, yeah, it's a little terrifying.
What do you mean? I'm a good driver.
Well, you're a good driver in your vehicle, and then you get in mine and you lose all sense.
Well, yours was weird because it's German, so it's always like Heinz, Mainz.
So that means
Jean Gottlieb does French.
Twice he almost wrecked my car.
No, I didn't almost wreck it. It was just
it was twice you almost wrecked it.
No, it's called aggressive driving.
Yeah, and you.
Yeah, it was bad. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't crash it because I wasn't paying attention to the cars.
Yeah. He just wasn't focused.
Which is how most people crash their cars. The other thing that happened, so I went on Danny's podcast.
Okay.
And I got I know you're here for this.
I got a phone call. I'll just say I got a phone call on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
At 10:30, and it was a very we'll just say disgruntled Sam. So but I don't know what happened.
Disgruntled is not the right word.
Is that well? I was half asleep, so it was you were hot. There was something.
You got a fired up Sam.
Yeah.
And I was indeed fired up because I had gone on his podcast and I had been kind of like brewing on these thoughts for a minute about stand-up comedy as a whole and the stand-up comedy scene and people talking about PC this, PC that, and like cancel culture and all this stuff. And it just bothers the hell out of me. And it just like when I was on Danny's podcast, and it's not like Danny, this isn't about Danny and it's not about these shows specifically, but it's not about it either. You know, like this was something that I saw and I got really fired up, like more fired up than I have been in a long time. And that kind of like righteous, not anger, but like indignation where like, I can form like really complex thoughts at like a really fast speed, because it's that kind of anger where you know you're not going to have to fight anybody. It's just like, you're just so like, I'm so frustrated with some of the attitudes that I see from stand-up comedians these days.
Right.
About, you have folks that are so worried about getting canceled, but nobody knows who they are.
You haven't started yet.
You haven't done anything. And like the idea, and it comes down to this like very selfish idea that it's the crowd's fault because they can't handle your truth. Like that you're too, and I'm just like, man, just be funny. Like, you don't need to think about this.
Well, I think that because for people who don't do comedy, sometimes when a comic gets on stage and it doesn't go well, they have a tendency to turn it around and be like, oh, well, the audience, it was the audience's fault, or, that they're the reason why my joke didn't land or something like that. What, did he say something specific that like,
I'll be honest, I kind of came in like kind of rearing to go because of some stuff that I had been seeing just the last couple weeks. It's kind of like it was kind of weird that it all came out on that podcast, but it was something where it's like my bucket was full.
Yeah.
Of and it, I think too, the idea of like shocking people to get laughs, and like, I'm going to say something so wild and heinous that you have to laugh, that I'm going to get a reaction. But watching somebody try to do that, like if you got 4 punchlines in a row, the only thing you're bringing to the table is saying something shocking or gross, I'm done with you.
Right.
Like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with, because I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to. And, I'm going to start doing it. Like, I don't want to be like this, but if I have to, I'll start throwing my weight around a little bit. And I'll say, hey, like, I don't want to be on a show with that dude.
Right.
Like, I don't want to work with that guy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you want to improve, and this isn't comics struggling to figure out a set, and this isn't me saying like don't push boundaries. What I'm saying is that nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear about what you think about bestiality. Like, nobody cares about that. Like, if you have a joke where bestiality is a part of it and it gets a laugh, more power to you.
Right.
And if it's something clever, but if it's just like, oh, A plus B plus C equals D, and this guy likes to fuck sheep,
right,
I'm done. Like, I'm done. I can't handle it anymore. Like, I and that was kind of what I was getting across. And also, and this might be the most controversial thing I've said on this podcast, but like this kind of thing, like, oh, they went after Chappelle, now they're going after me. Because there's a lot of stuff that Chappelle has done that I don't agree with, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what? You know who's not on my radar? Chappelle. It doesn't like, and the other thing too, but this is the thing that I will fight you on, okay? If one more person tells me that Dave Chappelle is canceled right now, I'm going to lose my mind. He literally just sold out the Climate Pledge Arena, okay? They're like, oh, they come for Chappelle and now they're coming after me. No, like, nobody knows who you are.
They're coming after me.
Nobody knows who you are. You do open mics in Puyallup. And that's not specifically about a comic in Puyallup. No, I love Tony.
Not that there's anything wrong.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, I like Tony. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not talking about it. See, this is what I'm worried about, is that people are going to think that I'm talking about them.
No, we're talking.
I might be talking about you.
I mean, well, I mean, you're in the public eye.
Yeah. So that, I don't want to like, I'm not going to do a whole bunch of, I'm not going to talk about this that much more. But just know that like, there are so many people in this world that wish people would just listen to them. Like, they have something to say and they wish people would just listen to them. And there's people who be like, oh, well, stand-up comedians are the only ones that are like brave enough to get on stage.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't start comedy because I was brave. I started comedy because I was desperate. Like, I needed an outlet. There's not a lot of bravery going on when I am getting on that stage. In fact, it's now a compulsion.
Right.
Like,
I have to.
like this is something that I am, not something that I'm brave enough to do. And I would say this, that in this culture that we've created is so toxic that a lot of people, the reasons why people have to be so brave to get on stage is because of how awful this world treats them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like there probably would be a lot more fantastic trans comedians if it wasn't so toxic for trans people to do stuff. If they didn't feel like every time they went up they had to justify their existence, you know? And like I don't know, it just bothers me right now. So
No, I hear you. I was at an open mic and it's terrifying sometimes. Like it's honestly like there was a joke that was knock knock, who's there? It's me, I'm going to rape you.
yeah.
Like, and not only did they do that, they did it like they just did the joke over and over and over again. And to the point where the owner of the establishment was like, hey, maybe it's not landing. Like maybe don't. And just kept, and for what is like,
And
what is the point?
How does that make you feel?
Well, it's as a female, it's just like, I like are you really a rapist? Like, do I need to be scared of you? Like you're making me think that you might just genuinely be a rapist. Yeah. Like cause there's no punchline there.
Yeah.
Now I'm just concerned.
Cause that's the question that I think when I see some of these folks, and it might not be because I don't have to worry about it the same way you do. And I'm not going to get into like issues with the comedy scene about like sexual assault, but that shit's real. And it happened. Yeah. It happened in the Northwest. It happens all over the place. It happens in all
absolutely
different walks of life. But the thing too, and I don't know if it's like this for you, but when I hear people try to land jokes like that about rape, I go, what circles are you traveling in?
Right.
Where that is the acceptable form of humor.
Exactly. You are in a dark place right now.
Yeah. If you are capable of being around people that think that that is humorous,
right?
What other things are you capable of?
Right. You make me worried about you.
Yeah. Yeah. You make me, and I actually think that you can really, I'm fine with people joking about anything as long as they stay in their lane. Yeah. Like, don't pretend you know something about some stuff that you don't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I've ever, like, I have the joke, and Trey, you're going to know what I'm talking about. I think you heard me do it, and I think I posted it online about the Yakima jail. And I go, the Yakima jail was the first time in my life where being white didn't work out for me, Like, in that joke, I'm not saying that it's good to be white. I'm not saying that white people are the best. I'm saying that was like, and I'm not even trying to, like, when I write stuff like that, I'm not like, how can I say something important? I'm like, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's what this is. And yeah, it's pointing out to like general, like, inequities that are built into like the criminal justice system. I mean, we could really break it down if we wanted to. Like, I've read books about this, but anyway, I'm not saying that this is what it's like to be Mexican. This is what it's like to be black. I'm not asking stupid questions about why do black people do this? Why do Mexican people do that? Why do because that's not my experience. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And I don't do it with trans folks, and I don't do it with gay folks. And if you want to talk about how you relate to those communities, by all means do it, but just know that like you might show your ass, and and people aren't going to like it. Because like comedy is changing. Like it's always changing. The world's changing. And you know what? There are folks too that are like, I see comics too, and they double down. And people complain about the left like virtue signaling all the time. I got news for you. The right does it too. And they do it just as much and in an even stupider way, Like, have you seen like Roseanne's new special? She's like, my pronouns are kick your ass. And it's like, oh, that's cool. You stole a joke from Ted Cruz. What a badass.
I'm excited about that, actually. Yeah. Well, I was watching I realized that all of the old like Comedy Central specials are on.
Yeah.
And so I was like watching, and it was from like 1999. I think it was Mark Maron, and like just dropped the R word like multiple times like in his set, and it was just like, oh, I'm like, oof, that wouldn't.
I can say
Things have changed.
Things have changed, and like I'm not gonna go back and watch comedy and be like, oh man, you shouldn't say that, you shouldn't say that. And I know comics now that say that word, and do I think they are a horrible person? No. Do I think they might be making a mistake on stage? Yeah.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
What are you gonna do?
I know what we're not going to do, and we're not going to talk about comedy on this podcast.
No, God,
that's what I know we're not going to do.
I felt bad,
sure.
but that was what. Yeah, I was, and when I called you on Saturday, I think it was right after the podcast, and I think I was still like, it's funny because Danny was kind of sitting there like kind of like.
How did he take it? Yeah,
he was fine. I like Danny. I think Danny's a good dude. I don't think there's anything wrong with Danny. I don't think there is anything wrong with these shows.
I think Danny, he's just a good time guy.
Yeah, and Danny parties, but Danny's cool. Like I have, like I don't, it's like I really, and honestly, full stop. Like I appreciate Danny giving me work for this weekend, because I was supposed to have all my shows in Boise, but 2 of them got canceled, the Friday and the Saturday. Something happened. I'll tell you this too. Man, Boise Sunday night, we had so much fun.
Yeah. With
Nathan Scott Ford at Volume 1, who's owned by an ex-NBA player, and I got to meet him. I don't know any. Why
he pointed at you?
Because Trey likes basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to point at you. You don't like basketball. It was really dope, and we got to talk a lot about. I like talking about how like sports relates to comedy, and how like there's these like high pressure situations, and like you actually, and also that you can't you can't bullshit about it. Like it's nice to be involved in a profession where at any point, like we all get to figure out like where we're at. Like either you're funny or you're not. Like that's really nice.
Yeah.
Like you work at a lot of places and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a great cook. And then it's like, and then they're like burning hash browns and you're like, oh no.
What are you doing at that restaurant? That's not good. Yeah.
But anyway.
No, you learn pretty quick whether you.
Yeah, that show is great. And I got to work with Nathan Scott Ford, who is a Boise legend. And I got to say, man, the Boise comedy scene is pretty neat.
I've got to go out there once before with Joe.
Yeah.
And it was really fun.
That was the best show top to bottom of these 4 show runs. The host was great. We had a 6-minute guest spot, a 10-minute guest spot. And then I co-headlined with Nathan Scott Ford, and went up before him too.
Nice.
And sometimes that bothers me a little bit, but not with Nathan because he's strong and I like him. Yeah, and he's really funny. He's like really gross, but in like a beautiful kind of way. Like I don't know, like he can do some like gross and shocking stuff, but it's like funny and it's not like hurtful. And he's mostly talking about himself. He says, he has this joke. I'm just going to tell it. He says that his penis is like a Campbell's soup can. And I've heard people talk about that where like, it's not big, but it's not like long, but it's like girthy. And he goes, I know that's what you think, but I just mean it smells like cream of mushroom soup.
Oh.
That's good though.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's good.
Yeah, because he's turning around the... you know what I mean? He's taking some stuff. So anyway, that was me. What were you doing?
Let's see this. Where was I? I was very busy this week. I have no idea. I had stuff going on all weekend though. I think the most important list, I did my first, like, well, it was like 28 minutes. It was supposed to be 30, but I did 28.
You didn't do your time?
No. At the Chieftain. It was okay.
Chieftain? Isn't that, where is that?
In Seattle.
How come they never booked me?
It was their first showcase. It was Heath's. It was his first one, and it was really fun. And it was me.
Oh, Heath is running a room?
Yeah.
Oh, look out.
I know. And the owner was really happy because, they used to have comedy there, used to have open mics there, but they weren't really, the owner was not appreciating the type of comedy that was coming in.
Where is this place?
It's downtown Seattle. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they had comedy there?
Yeah. And
I wonder how long ago was it?
It was a few months ago.
Oh, really?
But there were a bunch of, Seattle comics that were considered, edgelords and were going
really?
in and just being ridiculous. I mean, just being inappropriate. Yeah. And the owner was like, hey, can we maybe have some sort of code of conduct?
How many comics were there on the show?
There was only Levi Manis ended up doing a guest spot, and then it was Chandler, Heath, Dane, and myself.
Okay.
So there was a lot of people with beards, and then me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good that you got to level it out a little bit.
Yeah, it was really fun. But I mean, you're
the least bearded person I know.
Yeah, I had the shortest beard out of all of them.
Yeah. You have -1 beard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I'm trying. I'm giving it everything I've got, but
fertilize.
It's still
That's
not
what
working.
I did. That's how I got my beard so big. You got to fertilize it. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't believe you said I didn't do my time, son of a bitch. As if I haven't been like so.
They wanted you to do 30,
and I did
28.
I did 28.
It's not.
I couldn't pull it together.
2 more minutes and you had it.
And
you should have just done
anything.
2 more minutes.
I could have just thanked them for 2 minutes. I could have just been like, it's so nice to be here.
No, I'm not giving
I love the curtains.
28's great. You should be very proud, Jess.
No, it was good. And it wasn't there was a good mix of crowd work and yeah, it was fine. Oh, I did a show with Josh Firestein on Sunday on Saturday.
Where was that at?
That was another one in Seattle.
Oh, cool. You guys had fun? Mm-hmm. That's good. Did Josh book you on that?
No, that was Barungi.
Oh, at the Hop Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barungi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Barungi. I used to do that show. I haven't talked to Barungi in a while.
He's moving.
Where's he moving to?
I think LA.
Really?
Yeah, getting out of here.
Good luck.
Yeah. But that was it was good.
There's a lot of comedians in LA, man. No fat people, all comics. There's more comics than fat people.
How is that possible if there are that many comics and none of them are fat?
There's no fat people in LA.
Really?
Not where I was.
Oh.
Not by the pier. Not by the... I don't know what I'm talking about.
I know.
I'm so full of shit.
What
you had fun, though.
I had a great time. Yeah, I always have fun. But it was Sunday was hard because I would push myself and but yeah.
Here's the question I want to ask you. Did you switch up the opener?
Actually I did.
What do you think?
I've done it twice now. And it's interesting because both times I've still it's okay. I'm still getting used to it, but I do think that the audience probably is a little bit more receptive because I'm able to, it gives me a minute before I just throw it on them.
I want you to know that when I give people advice, especially people that I care about like you,
yes,
I'm really self-conscious about that. And so I'm happy that you tried it.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that
it was really hard
to have a thing. Yeah. Switching openers is hard.
Because did we talk about it on here? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. And you know what's funny is I'll tell you something on Saturday. I didn't do an opener at all. It was weird. And then because my opener is my belly tattoo thing. And also that's what my shirts are, is my belly tattoo.
Right.
And it was really weird because I went to do my merch push at the end of my set in Portland. And I realized that I hadn't done my joke about the belly tattoo. So
they wouldn't even get it.
No, they didn't, but I just did it right there real quick.
Oh, okay, just did it right there by the merch table.
I was like, yeah, my shirt says, let's dance. And they're like, let's dance? I'm like, you're a comedian. I'm like, I know this doesn't make sense. I got a belly tattoo.
You just take your shirt off.
Yeah. And by the way, I stopped using words on stage, and now I just go, I'm just a bear growling at a hot dog.
I'm a man.
That's what I am. Yeah. I'm a man's man. Yeah. That's what's going on. The guy who makes Dilbert, Scott Adams, got fired for being a racist.
So what? How racist? What did he do?
He said, "Here, just a second. I'll pull
How
it up.
racist was he?
How racist was he? Let me see. I want to look it up.
Okay.
I have it right here. If you're not familiar,
Yeah.
Dilbert is a comic about a guy
Oh.
who looks like a slug who works in an office, and then offices are bad.
You're talking about Jesus, that
Have
was.
you ever watched Dilbert?
I need you to not do two things at once because you are not very good at it. I want you to either find this article that you're looking for, or tell me about.
I didn't even remember. I didn't even. No, he said that.
Dilbert the cartoon in the newspaper.
Okay, so this is what he
Right?
said.
Is that right, Trey?
They were talking about black people. He was talking about black people, and he goes, "I don't want to have anything to do with them. And I would say, based on the current way things are going, the best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away, because there is no fixing this."
I can't imagine that all that fit in the cartoon.
No, he didn't do it. He did it on his YouTube channel.
So he just
Yeah.
did he just have a mental break, or did somebody
No, he's been
somebody
on
just
this.
started asking
He's
him?
been kind of like on this for a minute. Like he's been kind of like on it.
Is he an
for a
older
minute.
person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy who made Dilbert.
Right.
There's not a lot of young people making cartoons for newspapers. There's young people that make amazing cartoons.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
Trey, how old are you?
23.
How you a big newspaper guy, Trey?
No.
No. When's the last time have you ever read a newspaper?
With my grandpa?
Yeah.
Wait, you read it? You read stuff to your grandpa?
Nah, just
With him.
looking at I don't even know. Just trying to pretend like I know what's going on in the newspaper. You're just showing me stuff. You're just showing me stuff.
Yeah. So your experience with the newspaper is your older grandpa
Much older.
showing you things in the newspaper.
Exactly.
And then Trey pretending to read it.
Yeah, because it was probably in Spanish and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So basically, he is he's in trouble, and they dropped his cartoon from like everything. He lost
Yeah,
his
that makes
publishing
sense.
contract and everything because he was just like.
Well, the black people are trying to do him a favor and
He's
get
like,
him
I
away
don't
from them.
like. And the thing that I don't know, I wanted to talk about this because he is. This kind of comes back to what we were talking before because he's like. Cancel culture is like out of control. It's like, no, man, like people are mad at you because you said something like incredibly like whack.
Inappropriate. I think it was Derek Sheen who posted on his Facebook something about I would like to change the word canceled back to consequences.
Yeah, consequence culture.
Yeah, and I really am like, yeah, that's true. Like you can say whatever you want, but there are going to be consequences to the things that you say.
I just know what really bothers me is that if for some reason I lost the internet and my phone broke
Yeah.
and I couldn't turn on a TV or a radio
Uh-huh.
and I
Sounds
wanted
terrible.
the news. And so I went and got a paper.
Right.
And then I read what I needed to read, and I was like, oh, what else is in here? And then I went to the cartoon section, and then Dilbert is not there.
Well,
I mean, I know he said some hateful things.
you are sad about, you are going to be, you're going to miss it, you're saying?
No, you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to start making a cartoon called Dolbert,
Ooh,
and it'll be,
your own little spinoff.
yeah, it'll be.
A less racist.
No. It's still going to be racist.
Okay.
It's still racist. I mean, in the spirit of
It
Dilbert.
said less.
Yeah, people will know it's not authentic unless I make it racist.
Right.
So it's going to be great.
I love a newspaper. They're really good for cleaning your windows.
That is a thing.
Yeah,
Or starting fires, like starting campfires. Nothing's better than newspapers.
Yeah.
I feel bad because
Well-
my brother was a newspaper guy, and
What do you feel bad about?
I feel bad for the newspaper industry. I think there's a lot of amazing writers, and I think that like now everybody has an opinion about everything, and they put everything out there. And it used to be like, I don't know. I guess that's good in some ways, but
I mean, when you read the newspaper though, like how do you know how to feel? Because there's no like comment section.
yeah, no, there's comment sections online. I've been kicked out of the Olympian
For the comments
comment section
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about?
Well, I guess there was because you could what was it when you would write to the
letters to the editor?
Yeah, so there's your comment.
Yeah, or you could
got
just
kicked out
fight
of what?
the editor. You could just wait outside the newspaper office and fight him. Like, stop writing about my cousin, you piece of shit.
My cousin.
I got kicked out of the Olympian comment section.
For what?
Because they were just writing stupid stuff. And like they were doing this thing, like newspapers, like the Olympian does this thing where they run ads and they pretend like they're stories and they put them on their Facebook. And you know how they came out with like thin Oreos? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, no wonder you were upset. Okay,
Yeah.
I see why you're upset. Okay, this makes sense.
No, I was
like,
upset.
why are you?
No, I was upset because I didn't want to see. I'm like, this is so corny. And also, this is back when I was still arguing with people online about stuff, which I haven't done in a very long time.
Yeah.
They said, check out new Oreo releases new thin Oreos. And then I was like, are they as thin as your newspaper? And then,
ooh,
yeah.
And
then you know what's crazy is whoever was doing social media for the Olympian, like they screwed up and they answered back to me. They're like, for somebody who says you don't like our newspaper, you should do. It seems like you pay attention.
Subscribe a lot.
And I screenshotted it and put it on my Facebook, and we all had like a big laugh.
A good chuckle.
Yeah, and then I got banned from the Olympian. Well, and then I thought it was funny to start a petition to get me reinstated, and it got like so many signatures.
How many?
I don't know. I can't even remember.
It was probably like 37.
Here, talk for a while, and I'll look it up.
Okay.
Because I can't talk and look stuff up.
No, you're not very good at it. I was just thinking if it like that's some real dedication to get back in there.
No, I didn't care. I just thought it was funny.
You obviously did care because you started a petition. People who don't care about things don't just start petitions.
I disagree.
Did you find the answer yet?
Yeah. Oh, wait, here it is. Yeah, I found it. It's on iPetitions. It's on iPetitions.
On iPetition.
.com. I got 146 people to sign it. Yeah. And it says on July 1st, 2015, Olympia treasure, and I wrote this myself. Olympia treasure Sam Miller was banned from commenting on the Olympians' Facebook page after they posted an article about a new type of thin Oreo cookie, to which he responded, "Will it be as thin as your paper?" This comment was hilarious and factual, seeing as how the Olympia newspaper has become very, very, very thin, literally and figuratively. In the past, Sam has received feedback, negative feedback, but feedback nonetheless, after another hilarious and accurate statement about the relevance of her once proud local newspaper. Tell the Olympian to let me comment on their page.
I like how you like patted yourself on the back like numerous times. Numerous times. Not only were they factual, they were hilarious.
I'm a turd. This is still live. But no, this is what is killing me, right? So on the petitions thing, they have comments, right?
Oh no.
And this is this is why I got nervous, is because it got picked up by like these like libertarian like free speech types, and they're like taking stuff way too far. So, how are you a newspaper if you're stifling a person's right to speech? If you ignore a question, that does not make you correct in any way. If Sam Miller cannot comment on your paper, you should not publish a paper. I will not read a censored publication ever. Good day.
Good day. He said good day.
Yeah, that's just good.
That's nice. That must have felt nice.
It did. Oh, wait, some of these people, I know them. Ugh, gross.
Yeah. Well, good for you. Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem like a waste of people's time.
No.
At all.
There's probably nothing better for anybody to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been canceled before.
Right.
By the Olympian.
How did it feel?
I don't like it.
You've been scratching and clawing your way back ever since.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to become a really successful comedian. And you know what's funny is that there's people at the Olympian that I like, and they like write stories about me sometimes. And it's always like this weird thing where I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like the Olympian, and then I'm like, oh look, it's my picture.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean,
Look at me.
I'm a narcissist
Yeah. Hey,
above all else.
we really want you to support our sponsors.
Yeah.
You do them this time.
Our spot. No, I can't because I'll mess it up.
No, let's see if you can do it.
Let's see.
No, don't look it up. You remember
Well,
them.
Bar Francis
Boom.
in Olympia.
Coffee shop. It's great.
Deschutes River Cyclery.
Yeah, bike shop. It's great. You do it. You got one more.
And Old Pizzeria. Old school pizzeria. Old school pizzeria. Damn it.
Yeah, old school pizzeria. Do I laugh too hard on the podcast?
No such thing.
No. Okay, good.
No such thing.
I have to
Can't
lean
laugh
back
too hard.
and laugh.
Yeah. Well, that's just because of your belly.
Yeah. Episode 1
How do you feel?
was released. You start. How do you feel?
Yes, episode 1 went live yesterday, which was really exciting. I felt really great. I was really excited to put the first one out there and just to let everyone see what we've been working on for the last few weeks. I thought it was good. I thought Trey did a good job.
I would have been more into releasing it on Monday if I didn't have to drive 8.5 hours.
Yeah, that was kind
overall, I share essentially like the same feeling.
Yeah.
Where I am proud
Mm-hmm.
of the podcast thus far. I think Trey's done a great job. I think you've done a great job.
Yeah.
The thing that I worry about is how much work I'm able to put into it and
Mm-hmm.
like navigating, like maybe Trey, maybe I don't know if you know about this, but a lot of I'm like, what do I promote today? Do I promote my own comedy shows? Do I promote the podcast?
Right.
And how do I intersperse that with other content on my social media? Because when I put stuff out on my social media, I want it to be like meaningful. I don't want to just put out like
You
whatever.
don't want to be like flooding and
Yeah, I want to talk about real stuff or funny stuff. I don't want, and so that was a struggle, and that is a struggle.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really depending on, honestly, like listeners and stuff like that to,
I was gonna say, how can we help?
to promote it. No, that's the thing is you're doing a lot of the legwork. You and Dane are doing a lot of the legwork as far as like the technical stuff, and I haven't had to deal with a lot of that, and for that I'm grateful.
Yeah.
And I am fine with continuing to promote and to write my jokes, which
You write the jokes. You talk the most. So you bring a lot to the table. You show up on time first
I try to. I don't know. Maybe I should talk less.
on the podcast.
I'm gonna put my back. My back.
What are you doing?
My back is itchy. Can you scratch my back?
Oh, all right.
Is that weird? Down. Wait, up. Right.
Okay, just 1 second.
Right. Oh, money. All right, we're good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Literally. You scratched my back.
Yeah, I got
Did
you.
you hate that?
It was fine. It was fine.
Are you weird
we got to
with
help
that?
each other out. No, it's
okay.
fine. I mean, it wasn't like you had your shirt on. Like, it'd be weird if you had your shirt off. That I would have been like, I don't know if I could do
like, will you scratch my back?
Take your shirt
Take my
off.
shirt off.
Yeah, that would've been gross.
Yeah, can you blow in my ear? I like that.
I'm definitely excited for the second one because the second one has the video as well, and I do feel like that adds like a really nice element to it to have that option.
Are we gonna post the whole video on YouTube too?
Yeah.
That's happening. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't know
Right.
that.
Right. Wouldn't we?
Are you starting a YouTube channel?
I mean, I guess we should, or like
Yeah.
somehow like
you
have
should.
it.
You should.
I don't know if you could like.
I'm like, you should.
Yeah.
It's really easy to start a YouTube channel. Yeah, I like that. I'm fine with that. And people can watch it on YouTube. I think that's great.
Yeah, or to have it somehow.
Yeah, I don't care. And then episode 3, and I think episode 2, we're gonna release one episode a week, except for this week when we're gonna release the first 2. I think we'll release the second one tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Wednesday,
Yeah, Wednesday.
the first. That'll be perfect.
It'll be good. I like the balance. I think that I do talk a lot, but I think that's okay.
Right. I think that's to be expected.
Yeah.
You have a lot to say. You got a big old brain.
I do have a lot to say. I have a big brain and a big head with lots of things in it.
Yeah, that's okay.
I have something that I did.
Okay. What is it?
I wrote 8 jokes.
Ooh, 8.
Yeah, I wrote 8 jokes.
All right.
And the first one sucks.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I also have a thing that I know now.
Oh,
I should
good,
do
good,
that
good.
first.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that first.
Yeah. The thing that you know now that you didn't.
Check this out. You know Lance Armstrong, right? The cyclist?
Yeah.
And he got caught doping, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was stripped of all his Tour de France wins. He had 7 successive Tour de France races were officially declared. And then check this out, right? Usually, if he loses, if they were like, no, you're not the winner, they would just pick another winner.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that because everybody was doping.
Oh, I remember.
There's basically 7 years, 7 successive Tour de France races were officially declared without winners because so many riders who finished behind Armstrong were also associated with doping offenses. Like everybody was high.
Literally everyone was doing it. I remember that time.
So there is now 7 Tour de France's that do not have a winner.
No winners.
Yeah. The only winner is the fan who likes to see people ride on their bikes really fast.
Would you consider that a winner?
I think that honestly, hot take, if an athlete chooses to do steroids and like is open about it and other athletes are doing steroids,
You think it's fine?
I don't care. I really don't.
Yeah.
Unless it's combat sport.
No, if everybody's on it though.
If everybody has the
Yeah,
upper
but then it gets kind of weird because then you're like, oh man, like who's got the best drugs? But that's like a whole nother level because they'd all have like these chemists and stuff, you know? And then you could have one of them can inject titanium into their bones. Yeah.
you have to.
And you could put a gun in your nose.
What in the world? You could have them fight. Are these?
And you could have knives for hands.
Like, are these people?
No, this
Okay.
is me.
Okay.
This is me imagining.
None of this is real, right?
Yeah. You thought that was ultimate fighting. Wait till you meet Edward's knife hand's gun nose. Yeah,
Sounds
you
dangerous.
think you're tough? Achoo!
Oh, be careful. Be careful.
That man sneezed a bullet.
Be careful. He has a sinus infection.
Yeah, it'll kill you. Wait, Trey, I am not stupid. I'm creative.
Just as the dark.
Yeah. Okay. Jokes.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you do the first one because I hate it.
Okay, great.
Trey, I hope you're ready.
Okay, one time when I was a bouncer, a lady took off her shoe and hit me with it, and now I have a foot fetish.
It's really bad.
I think that's just you're just letting us know that you get a foot fetish.
I don't have a foot fetish.
You just told us you did.
I know. It's a stupid joke. I actually don't like feet at all. I can't have a foot fetish. I'm too tall. That's a joke.
2.
You should write that one down.
I said that one.
I must have been really hard back in the day.
Wait, it must have been.
It must have been really hard back in a day to only have candles to light your home. Put on the plus side, it was really easy to cook your heroin.
But on the plus side, it was really easy to cook over candlelight.
Yeah, because people cook heroin over candles.
Do they?
Fuck yeah, they do.
Well, don't say fuck yeah, they do. Like, I know how you make
You're
heroin.
from West Virginia.
Yeah, we make meth.
Oh, sorry. My
It's
bad.
different. I'm just kidding. I don't know how to do any of it. I don't know if there's an all-powerful creator. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know if there's a creative intelligence in charge of everything. But if there is, why'd they do diarrhea?
That's a good question. If there's an all-powerful
Number
God
4,
that's in
Trey.
charge of everything, why they do
What's up-
diarrhea?
what's up with diarrhea?
You didn't do the punchline. I was like, why they do diarrhea?
What? I thought I said it perfectly.
Maybe you did.
I thought I said, what's up with that diarrhea?
Aircraft carriers are really cool. I think it's neat that there's boats on planes.
Wait.
There's boats that planes can literally land on. And if you ask me, it's about goddamn time for airplanes to return the favor.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad.
That's a great joke.
This is really bad.
You know what I mean?
This is
It's
bad.
like,
Hold
listen,
on.
stop.
Aircraft carriers are really cool. I think it's neat that there's boats that planes can literally land on. And if you ask me, it's about goddamn time for the airplanes to return the favor. Okay.
It's
Let
possible,
the
though.
boats land on the airplanes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Am I wrong?
It's possible, though. Like, they have those planes that land on the water. You can, like, strap a boat on the wing and just take off again. And then land the boat somewhere else because it's quicker than sailing.
They could do that. And I think they actually have, like C-130s, and they'll drop the
boats and shit.
Navy SEALs out of them.
I know they drop tanks out of planes, but so they can probably drop boats.
They probably drop boats too. Yeah, you're right.
Sam's onto something.
Well, it sounds like the United States
Trey, I'm so
military
happy
is
you
onto
have my back
something.
on this. A lot of times you take Jess's side, and like Jess didn't like that joke, but you're like, man, that's really inspirational, Sam.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think anytime you talk about like airplanes and stuff, like any boy stuff, Trey's like, ooh, he gets really excited about it.
How?
Ooh.
I wouldn't call that boy stuff. I would call that person stuff.
Yeah.
Because boats aren't for boys or
Oh,
girls.
you're right. You're right. But
God, Jess.
yeah.
You're so
But Trey
backwards.
is a boy, right? I believe.
No, he is.
Yeah.
He's not a boy, he's a man.
Number 5. I'm a man.
I got your back, dude. I'm not going to let Jess land you like that.
Yeah. A real man lets his friend tell him what a man he is.
You're not nice. Okay. I swear to God, I think these are my best ones yet.
Okay. Number 5. Pearl Jam. Really successful band. Really horrible condiment.
It's too gritty.
It's too like pearl, like
pearls.
like
like
jizz.
No! What is wrong with you?
Hold on then, hold on.
No! I'm talking about actual pearls.
I thought you were talking about pearl
necklaces.
I thought you were talking about semen that you put on as like a condiment.
That's what you
would
call it,
put-
pearl juice, or like what do you call
Pearl
it?
jam.
Jess
That's what I
calls
was
it.
thinking.
Pearl
I thought that
Pearl
was.
Jam is a funny name for
Oh man,
Jess, that's not what I'm talking about.
I thought that's what you meant by a pearl
I could write that
jam.
joke different. Jess's version of that joke, Pearl Jam, very successful band. Also a name for cum.
all right, next
Or a
one.
terrible condiment.
I will always stand behind the troops unless they're farting. Then I'll probably try to get alongside them as to not be rude.
It's nice.
Even they're like, if you can't stand behind, the troop, stands in front of them. Like, I'm gonna stand
You can't
next. to
stand
them.
in front
I'll
of
be
them.
over there. Yeah.
Okay. Number 7. Or number 6. No, number 7. It would suck to have your birthday be on the anniversary of September 11th, but I think it'd be even worse to die on the anniversary of September 11th. You're just not going to get a lot of attention.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
Like if you die on the anniversary, and people are like, yeah, that's pretty tragic.
You died on September 11th? Really?
Yeah.
Well, it was 2019.
Yeah, I mean, in 2001. Think about it. It's so stupid.
It was 07.
Okay.
This is the last one, Trey.
It's hard to tell the difference between bushes and baby trees. That's why I just try to appreciate them for being a good place to hide behind and do drugs.
Bushes or baby trees.
Jess, you read it.
Okay. It's hard to tell the difference between bushes and baby trees. That's why I just try to appreciate them for being a good place to hide behind to do drugs.
That's just no good.
Yeah. Hold on. You try
I
it.
was like, maybe
you
they
try
didn't
it.
read it right. Okay, look. It's hard to tell the difference between bushes and baby trees. That's why I just try to just appreciate them for being a good place to hide behind a dude. I wrote a bad joke.
It's really hard.
Dude, you know what's
It's really hard, isn't it? It's not easy to write.
2 through 7 were like pretty decent jokes. Like they were pretty funny.
Yeah. They were okay. Yeah, you know I'm a critic.
But 1 and 8 were no good.
Yeah.
And Pearl Jam.
Do you think you can do better, Jess?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Well, in Pearl Jam, no, I can't do better. I can't do better.
Because you don't like to write one-liners.
I don't know how.
They're hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
I have
you know
been on. I have been on this TV kick lately, where I've been trying to. I've just been using like television show names to teach me lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Like Wheel of Fortune taught me the importance of vowels, and
they are important.
Deal or No Deal taught me the art of negotiation.
Yeah. So
yeah.
what you're doing is you're writing like a longer joke that you could be.
Yeah.
Like I kind of learned what I need to learn just from the names.
Because
you could talk about like you're like, oh, in West Virginia it's like we didn't have all those channels anyway. We only had basic cable.
Yeah.
So I just look at the names of TV shows for fun
and learn. Who Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader taught me that I'm not.
Yeah, just a second. Something happened.
What? I didn't like that.
Oh, what the hell is this?
Are You the Weakest Link taught me that I am. What?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Somebody just sent me something weird.
Why are you checking stuff right now when we're literally doing a podcast? You shouldn't be getting these notifications. You shouldn't be getting that because
I messed up. That's what happens though. That's what happens.
Oh my Lord.
Jess.
Yep.
Did you take your meds?
Yes.
Jess.
Yeah.
Tell me about this new medication.
Well, I was just going to say, because you always ask me if I took my meds, but we haven't really talked about why. I guess maybe a little bit. But I'm just, for my anxiety, which recently has gone up. Like,
really?
Yeah. So I don't know if just because the stakes feel like they're higher lately, because we've got all this good stuff going on. But yeah, so it's a good thing. But I have
talk about that. You said good stuff makes your anxiety worse. That doesn't.
Okay, so
that makes sense to me, but I don't know if it'll make sense to other people.
Like on Saturday, I had a 10-minute spot at the Hop Vine, and it should have been super easy, but it was in front of Josh Firestein, who is the booker at TCC and also another comic and notoriously a hard ass. And so I get really nervous performing in front of him. And so, so much so that recently, I haven't been able to actually catch my breath when I go on stage, and it's affecting me. Yeah. And I'll go on and I'm my voice is shaky, and you can't really, command an audience or get people to really buy whatever you're selling when you sound like you're kind of crying the whole time. So, yeah, so I'm just trying to get
do you feel
a handle on that?
I feel like a lot of the reason why your comedy does so well is because you're genuine and authentic on stage. Do you feel like there's you're balancing this?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to ask you? How do you balance the nature of your comedy being so genuine about your anxiety and your actual anxiety?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. It's I've learned ways to cope. I sway on stage. I don't know where or how I picked that up, but that just became my coping mechanism.
Yeah. Have you seen that movie Nell?
What is that?
Trey in the wind. You should watch that movie. No. That's a wild movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's weird. I feel more anxious for you on stage than I do for me.
Yeah.
I have become invested in you as a very good friend and a comedian that I work with a lot. And I hope you continue to seek out that balance and find medication and therapy.
Yeah. And
a combination of those that works, as well as social support. Because I don't think that there's going to be less pressure.
Right. It's not going to get any easier.
Right. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think it gets easier.
Right.
I know that the amount of high pressure situations and complicated things that I have to maneuver around have only increased.
Right. Yeah.
You know, as I've kind of come down this. But I will say that I've been taught and figured out a lot of tools
Mm.
to help me better deal with it. But this isn't just a comedy thing either. This could be
Yeah.
in anything.
Right. No, this is just life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you feel that same kind of anxiety?
Oh yeah. Just,
in
I mean,
other areas?
it's with everything. It's like I'll go to work here in a minute. And once I get on the road, I'll start stressing about what's waiting for me at work, even though it's nothing. It's,
If, we're getting ready to go to Eureka,
mm,
we're going to leave really early Friday.
mhm.
What, is there anything that would help? Anything I could do to help?
Oh no, I think you're great. It's all in my head. It's just,
Everything's in
right. Well, it's just
heads.
reminding. Well, that's what stinks. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about it.
Yeah.
It's just, reminding myself that it's fine.
You know what's weird about like mental health stuff is like, I always want to just like power through shit.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, I wish I could just like beat up that part of me that I hate.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it was just that easy. Like, I think we're taught, especially like men, especially folks that have like grown up in poverty, that like, and not that I should, like, I didn't grow up in poverty, but I grew up in like a pretty abusive like situation. And, and then having my dad pass away, when I was 12, my dad died when I was 12. And it's like, I always thought that I would just be able to just like pound like feelings into the ground, and that the best way to deal with them is just to ignore them or to like try to create a feeling to displace them. So I think one of the reasons why I love drugs as much as I did is because I wouldn't have to deal. It wasn't about where I was trying to go. It was about where I didn't want to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Escaping yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the hardest part is the voices in your head, they sound the same. The anxiety voice and then also my regular voice. Like they're very similar. So it's hard to differentiate. It's like, oh, is that real or is that just my anxiety talking?
Now, do you think that you could like, what's the best way to deal with it? Is it to try to make the anxiety voice quieter?
Yeah.
Or is it to change what the anxiety voice says?
So that's what I talked about with my therapist yesterday.
Nice. That's awesome. Good
Yeah,
job,
no,
Jess.
for real.
I'm serious. I'm really proud of you.
Well, not my therapist, my drug doctor.
Still though, you're talking about it.
Yeah.
Though.
But just about challenging those thoughts and just being like, well, what happens when you say that's not real or, because usually I'll just chase it down the rabbit hole of like, oh, my boss is mad at me. I'm going to get fired and blah, blah. And,
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, none of that is real. Stop it.
It spirals.
Right.
And, I have to tell myself, and I don't know if you do this too, but that like, I just have to take deep breaths.
Mm-hmm.
And have you ever done the thing where you make like the circle and you put your fingers together like this? And it basically that like, I'm safe. Like nothing's going to like get me here. Like this is like,
my bubble.
This is my literal bubble, like I have to do that. And then I have to do a lot of visualization.
Just ground.
And I don't know. I don't know what kind of diagnosis I could have. I know I have ADHD and a substance use disorder, but it's weird. Like, what does that? And I treat my substance use disorder, and I'm going to work on that today, actually. As far as my own recovery stuff goes.
Good.
Like, if these feelings that make me get high, like, and I stop getting high, like, what am I? Like, what is left? What is that? And how much of my comedy career is that now?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I call it non-practicing alcoholic,
Yeah.
you know, because they
See, I identify as a recovering
mm-hmm.
alcoholic drug addict. Like that's kind of my jam.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I and a lot of other folks just like me, like we found a way through community support and some spiritual stuff to. You like how I glance over that? Some spiritual stuff.
Just some light spiritual stuff.
Yeah, some light spiritual stuff. Because I'm agnostic. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not like worried about you.
Yeah, no, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I think you will, because I think you know what's funny is I think you love stand-up comedy so much that you have to figure it
Right.
out.
It's not an option.
Know? Like, and also that the way I've been taught is that like basically like if I do healthy things that scare me, my life is gonna get better.
Right.
Like if I'm willing to, like, I'm waiting for results back because I went to a doctor and they did a blood test and I think it looks like I have high blood pressure and it looks like I might have high cholesterol. And what's funny is I'm actually excited about the opportunity that like bad news gives me.
Right. You can fix it.
To make a change. Yeah. Cause it's a thing. So if they tell me I have high blood pressure, I'm going to talk to my doctor. I'm going to be like, hey, well, listen, this is what I want to do. I want you to check it in a month. And then, before I start any kind of medications, because I'm going to see, and if he says that I have to start medications or whatever, and also, I don't know, I might not.
Might be fine.
I might be fine. But I think that for me, like that's a thing is like taking care of my body and taking care of my mind is hard because I think I fall into this trap, and I don't know if you do, but like I'm like, well, I don't do meth anymore,
right?
So like,
yeah, I'm fine.
I'm doing good, you know. But like, I think I used to have a joke about that, where like, if meth like is my bar. Like, that's not like a good way to live.
Yeah, it's a little
like
low.
I could do heinous things and be like, well, it's not meth. And it's like, Sam, you can't have fried chicken for breakfast.
Yeah.
Like, it's not meth, you know? And I have eaten fried chicken for breakfast.
There are worse addictions that I can have, is what I would tell myself. There are worse things that I could be doing right now. I could be, you know.
Yeah. And it's funny, on
deep
the road,
in a bottle.
On my road with my wife, and it's like, not falling back in love, but just like having that time with her and realizing, you know, but how much stuff that I miss because of my compulsion, my addiction to perform as much stand-up comedy as I can.
Yeah.
Because I want that laugh. I like stand-up comedy. It's like, it's right there, you know? And what am I willing to do to stay healthy, you know? So.
Yeah. Well, when will you find out?
I don't know. I don't know if I like this place, because they told me that I had like, I got this text. It's like my results are in. It's signed into my patient portal.
Yeah.
And like I'd signed into my patient portal, which was a pain in the ass, and they didn't have the results in there. And then I called the office and left a message, and then I called again and talked to a receptionist, and that they said the doctor would call me and that they have some results, but I haven't gotten them yet. So like, I'm going to call, they actually opened at 10. I'm going to call them after we record.
Yeah.
And like, I literally just got in there. They know that like, oh man, am I scared of like doctors
and
stressed
stuff. And
like, I had such a hard
This is the
time.
last thing a guy with high blood pressure needs.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine.
What do we have? What should we say to people? Oh yeah, if you're reading it, like and subscribe to this podcast. I think we were done.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk anymore.
Oh, jeez, Louise. I feel like this was a very somber episode.
Well, we said we were going to do that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I can't just.
I'm not we're not a circus act.
Yeah, I don't have. Wait. I do have. Just a second.
What?
I did write another joke about something.
Just now?
No. If I ever get run over, I want it to be by a car that I like can't afford.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I don't want to get run over by another, like by a Kia Soul. Like I want to be hit. I want my last words to be like, "Oh, nice."
No way that's gonna hit me.
Yeah. And then this one too is that you know what's crazy? When I was born, I came out womb temperature.
I think that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, I
As
think it is too.
at womb temperature.
Yeah, womb temperature.
Yeah. And this has been the Tarp Report.